So 26 Vales, they brought us in quite a few revisions, but that's for the Riverwalk.
Oh.
So this was the original plan that came to us on May 7th for 26 Vales.
What?
It's a return.
This is the original.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So they propose interior renovations squaring off corners, left and right side of house, providing roof line, attic space for dormers. The board's concerned are the number of dormers, the different sizes, the pitches. Asking to simplify the dormers, they asked to study the outdoor entrance stairs, break up, study the slender columns, and to study the trim details of the house. So this is their revised plan.
Hello. How's everybody?
Good.
How's it going?
Those are the new plans.
These are
big ones we do.
Oh, the big ones are
I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah.
Is this the new one or the
No,
old?
that's the old, this is the new.
So, you guys ready? You want to Alright, so hey everybody, so I'm Seth Roy, I'm the architect of record for the project. We came here about a month ago. The basic gist of this project is taking a small strip of a ranch, which is in a pretty rough condition. And the property's been purchased and we're trying to create a proper family home, 2-story with a live-in basement. The plan that we gave you last time has changed. I think the overall the primary elevation in the plans indeed would change. I think the last time we were looking at an attic space that was not going to be occupied, but the owner, Mr. Kapucci, who's here with me now, has actually offered to actually build out the second floor now in one go of it. So that's really led to the changes that you're seeing here. So I mean, we can really quickly on A100 we have just the base, these proposed plans basement and first floor. Those really haven't changed substantially. You guys a second to
This is the
turn.
Oh.
Yep.
Hello. There's.
That's a foundation plan. There's
What?
the basement is a garage and kind of a in-law suite. The first floor is effectively the same as the last go around. We've eliminated 2 bedrooms on that floor and added a larger family room. We've also truncated the entranceway, made it a little less prominent, and we'll see later we changed the roof line there. And then we've added the second floor, which is kind of a partial height floor. You can see there's about a 4-foot extension of the wall, and then the roof line starts. So you can see it's a kind of a dormered second floor with 2 bedrooms and kind of an office working home space. That's shown on A101. Framing plans on A110 and 111. So we'll skip over to A200, which are the elevations. Just for clarity, the way we present these on each sheet, you've got the existing and the proposed. So don't be thrown off by that. I just want you guys to understand what's there now and how we're changing it. So A200, we have the primary elevation. One of the comments last time was just the amount of stonework that we had in front of the house. We've made that a lot smaller. We've actually created a couple steps down from the front door to lower that wall. And so that actually the staircase down to the main grade is also less substantial. We've changed how the front roof line is reading and really replaced kind of added a double dormer over the kind of living portion of the house and a kind of emphasize the roof line on the original bedroom side house, which is latest drawing left, and and added kind of a consistent vertical board and batten cement board siding, hardy plank siding. Originally, we had a kind of a little portico type entrance over the porch. We replace that with a shed dormer, which would have a standing seam metal roof on it. And that shed dormer kind of extends past the double dormers on the roof just to provide a natural break between the dormers and the siding.
Can you go to your A101 sheet, because it doesn't seem to match your elevation? The roof.
You're correct, yeah, you're correct, that roof plan, there's an error on that roof plan.
Because I'm not sure what's happening on the elevation with that.
With that,
With that little shed roof, looks like it's truncated on the right side, held up by brackets.
Yeah.
And that dormer is really minuscule in the roof plan, the middle tiny dormer.
let me look at the roof plan here, yeah, no, you can see the tiny minuscule dormer, I guess that's the one that's kind of along the center of the house.
Right.
That's only about it's about 2 feet out, actually 12 inches out from the dormer behind it. It's just a minor projection out, and you'll see that in the side elevation as well.
Yeah, but it
Right.
goes all the way.
But then I'm not sure what that shed roof does.
The shed roof that shed roof we put in there because it's really an awning over the window more than anything else, and it's just creating a break between that larger dormer and the siding. So we drawing a piece of trim there, it felt awkward, it took that element and brought it across. It's in the same plane, yeah.
This is weird.
I'm seeing that it's not depicted accurately on the drawing.
While we're on this page, is the fireplace vent what's
Yeah, it's a
protruding?
chimney.
Pushing on
It
the
is
back of
actually
the
gonna be
house,
a wood burning fireplace, you've got like a gas.
Is there,
Which one,
I guess it's in bedroom 3, whatever's showing up on the front elevation.
in the front,
Yeah.
that's gonna be gas, or at least.
Could that-
Right now, it's,
that
Exactly,
yeah, sorry.
Could that go out the side or something?
Yeah, we could move that out the
I
side.
think that was probably.
Maybe we're doing it direct and eliminating that. Yeah.
I could do this.
What change are you asking for?
The fireplace vent that is protruding through the roof to go out the side instead.
Oh,
You know, here was lower, here was higher.
It's gotta be higher.
but, I'm sorry, did he say he's gonna move it?
To the side.
To the side.
Make it all right.
I just thought that.
You guys talking about the flue, the
Yeah.
gas flue? Yeah, I can even look at doing a direct net and getting rid of that entirely.
You're not having a chimney on the old house, you had a brick chimney.
The brick chimney, that's separate, so the brick chimney is on the center of of what we're referring to as the south elevation, and so that is extending up. So you can see on the drawing, we've got a darker line way to show the extension of that masonry chimney. So if you look at A203, that shows both of those flue elements.
Why do you have in the back on the right side, looks like you're now pushing back the foundation wall and you've got this open space like held up by a column?
Yeah, so there's a door to the cellar level on that side of the house, so that's effectively like a little covered walkway underneath. Rather than pushing the entire house out, they are pushing the first floor out to square off some of the irregular plan of the existing house.
Cold floor.
Sorry.
You'll have a cold floor.
We'll work with spray foam.
And what's,
That's like the driveway, that's the entrance off the driveway, if you back your car into the driveway.
comments, people?
I'm gonna either eliminate this one or continue the same size.
Why?
It sticks out pretty because it's covering
Something.
because it's covering a kind of a, if you look actually, maybe you look at drawing
But
page
it's
one,
still.
you'll see how
like this
that roof is extending out over this covered floor. So if we were to extend that fully out over the entire, over that entire thing, it would just be
Yeah. And eliminating it on the
Um,
over that
We
area.
did draw that without it, we felt it looked, that looked awkward, but we could look at that.
What's that?
The
The shadows.
yeah, the extension of that shed dormer,
Yeah,
but
but maybe just get rid of the one above the window. Because if they continue, they
Oh,
say
just
they
get rid of
will
this,
not-
just-
yeah.
let's talk about this element here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of looks,
Mhm.
I think also what, the left side is okay, the right side still bothers me. It's like you have these two gable ends facing you and they're just about equal size. The one on the left resolves itself fine coming down, the one on the right just kind of sits on a bunch of nothing. Kind of sits on the front door, and then on the right side it sits on a half a shed roof and some brackets. I mean, what if you, I don't know if it's in the same plane, I think it is, maybe move that gable over a little bit and bring some trim down so it looks like its own shape coming down, and then the center door with the two columns, and even with that expression of the double dormer, it can be its own thing without that shed roof extension.
So,
So it would almost look like a double gable facing you, but you put the door kind of at the end of one of them. I don't know, I just think that would, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just saying it would help, again, clean up this facade again, which I have a lot of, it's better than what you have. But I still don't get it. You have this giant gable end sitting kind of on nothing.
and the giant, you're talking about the center, what's effectively
The right,
the right.
right.
It doesn't change the slope to fit, otherwise it's gonna be higher than the rear.
Well, I mean, if, I know, so if these windows move over a little bit, this gets trimmed down, I mean, ideally it sticks forward, but that's existing.
Or just continue with this one.
And if that was the center door shed roof
Continue.
dormer, then I can accept that.
That piece there.
Well, I think it's fine, just gonna clip this off.
Yeah, we'll clip it,
Yeah.
clip it off, so.
You suggest you slide this over?
No,
Yeah, John,
we probably,
continue with this.
That little.
we might be able to show
Yeah.
it, but
Do you have it drawn?
Do I have?
Are you drawing?
I,
or you're just taking
He's
I'm
trying
I'm
to-
drawing and
Oh,
taking,
okay.
I'm just, as people are talking, I'm just jotting down what you all are saying.
Oh,
In drawing, so a couple of reactions, so one of the things that's been a little bit challenging with this is that the volume on the left side, right, when I'm kind of referring to the bedroom side, it's proud by a couple of feet of the rest of the house, so it's a kind of an awkward transition to the back. We dealt with that in the back of the house by squaring everything off, but didn't make sense. We weren't able to square off the entire front of the house and start from scratch, which would have given us a clear plan to work with, so we kind of took that existing condition and tried to add these, we're changing the roof line and try to match that with these additional dormers. I think one of the comments you're making is like how this, right-hand dormer kind of lands on the house, and that, the little shed dormer, which can almost acts as an awning over that window, the little shade structure over that window, was our way of trying to resolve that. We obviously had similar concerns. We were trying to figure out how to communicate that dormer to the rest of the house.
I mean, I would almost take the central stair, the front door, this piece and this gable, that's your entrance piece. And it looks like you could shift all of that over a little bit, shift this, and this gable goes with it. And then maybe either by trim or just padding out the siding even 4 inches or 3 inches, you could make that look like its own. This is a gable end that rests on the ground, this is a gable end that rests on the ground with the front door coming out of that. and then you see a little bit sliver of the house back there. To me, that would,
And that's with
It
getting rid of
resolves
that
itself,
shed,
it just resolves
the
itself
shed on
better.
the right.
Right, I mean, part of this
yeah,
is
so
we're
get
trying,
rid,
we're trying to.
Get rid of the shed.
get rid
We're
of
working with
that.
existing elements on the house, right, so the door is where it is, those windows are where they are, so it's like, you know, it's
Oh, I
like,
see, I see.
we're not totally we're trying not to totally kill the.
Well, you're making a wider door, right?
We're making a wider door, but keep in mind that that's then centered off of this projection of, you know, this, the gable here that is resolved, that's, you know, sticking out, so that's kind of defining where that side, where, you know, where that center line is.
But I mean,
So-
all this could shift over, right?
Well,
I mean,
It's-
basically,
it would totally alter the existing interior plan of the house. Like I think that's the, if we were starting from scratch, we could move the entranceway over. If you look at that plan, we're now kind of, we have a space in between the, you know, what was originally the sleeping area of the house and the formal area of the house, and now that, you know, that's where you enter into the house. Now by moving that over,
I see.
you're kind of losing that separation.
But, so I think, you know, everything is sort of okay there, but as soon as you look at the rest of it, that's just kind of confusing. It's just a confusing set of structures to me. And I think that's what needs to be cleaned up, whether it's getting rid of that shed extension, creating a trim down here. I'd like to see it padded out a little bit, even a few inches, but just something that, because this stick's proud, right? This stick's way proud.
Yeah, that does.
This,
yeah, it
so,
does.
you know,
I
it'd
wonder,
be-
what if we had some sort of a shed that you could do at any dimension to make it balanced instead of the two cables?
well, I think he's making this a real habitable floor.
yeah, he's
It is a
got the
habitable
room.
floor, yeah.
Right, so he needs a headroom, probably.
Correct.
Um,
If you had a shed pop out, you could put it high enough to get a floor, and then you could send an architectural element, then you wouldn't be restricted to.
I think originally we had drawn that as a shed dormer on that side, I don't know if that was the iteration that we showed with you guys. I mean, the back of the house has that, right? If you look at the opposite end of this, if you look at drawing A202, it's a lot like what you're describing right now. So we have a shed dormer on back, you know, on the left side of that drawing, the south side of the house.
It also doesn't sit on the roof, it's, I don't like that.
Oh.
It's okay for the back, but
Right. Be nicer on this.
I mean, do you agree with my comments that there's something kind of wonky about that? It's a jumble of elements coming together.
I mean, this is something, you know, there was a precedent, I don't have a photo of the precedent house, I don't think, that you know, that we were working off of, you know, with that double dormer. Yeah, I mean, I think that the, you know, the fact that we had that sliver of shed dormer, right, that, you know, I'll call it an awning, because that's the better word for it, was, I mean, I'm not gonna kick a dead horse, so that was our attempt, you know, our way of resolving that. I think short of that, just because of the way, you know, without changing roof pitches and relating that to, you know, there's these existing windows down there on the living room side, on that south side of the house. It was to kind of create a dormer and a space that works with that. Like the only other way to do that would be to totally, I'm trying to stay true to my kind of client's design intent here as well. So we do have that conversation. Yeah.
It is kind of settling though, I mean, it's, you know,
It's kind of the skirt to separate the dormer from the house. I mean, we thought it could work. I think, you know, extending the door, extending that out a couple of feet to the edge of the house so it's not resting was one of the suggestions. Just I think something that would be reasonable.
Yeah, we could discuss
So,
it out.
so, you know,
well,
again,
they
this
can
is
go back and think about it,
Or they could
try
do that.
to make some other
No,
suggestions, I mean, Stanley's right, it's not an
Just-
ideal.
another way to think about it is, again, shift these windows a few inches, which doesn't seem to affect the plan. Just bring some trim board down so it looks like this gable is leading all the way to the ground.
Yeah, and again, like if we were starting from scratch, I would be doing that, but these are existing. It's like these are all.
That's an existing window.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're
Yeah.
doing practically a new house.
there's a lot that we're doing,
There's also a lot that I
obviously.
don't wanna add, but you know,
Like on the existing part of the house.
If you're making a major investment, you want it to be a good investment.
Definitely, I mean, I want it to be a good investment, which is how we got here, by the way, you know, cause we weren't even going here, but from the last meeting, I think this is what, you know, we wanted to see.
Yeah, those existing windows, just take out.
Well, you don't wanna, you don't wanna
Well,
cut down the
no,
daylight.
It's already pretty dark back there. I feel you, I understand
Yeah,
where you
they're
are.
all the same.
So you'd rather like a piece of trim come down the middle of the house there, is that what you're saying?
Well,
The problem is that
well,
trim lands in those windows,
traditionally-
right, like this is what we're talking about, right, is framing
Yes.
out this, right? We can-
Traditional
Yeah.
gables.
Can you tilt that up? We can.
Gables
Sorry.
have two ends,
Right.
they don't just.
I just drew a blue
They don't
line
just
down,
float
right,
down the
and
middle of nowhere.
that's what
So
we're all
there's usually
talking
some
about,
type
that's
of
the unresolved portion that you guys, I'm hearing as a comment.
I mean, traditionally, that's what happens with a gable, you usually have a line that, you know, on that caps that form. Instead of just kind of floating, and I think that's what we're talking about there, it doesn't resolve itself all that great, just because of the existing
Yeah,
conditions.
So this is the left front gable, in general, it's dramatically better than the other one.
Is this
Sorry,
here,
which
is
one?
this like some sort of like a sloped return?
Yeah, that, cause that, there's
Reason
no,
why
there's
that's
over.
not applied on the other ones, particularly out front, but
Well, the extension on that roof was deeper,
it's a different.
yeah, it's a different plane, so it could be
But, you know, nonetheless, whatever you do to, you know, kind of make more logical design senses, you know, you can see this little awning roof with this gable coming down, just, you end up with this weird juncture between the eave and the top of the roof. So that's kind of the start of the problem, I think. Is you've got these elements that just don't make any sense.
Do you have comments on the other elevation?
No, I mean,
Yeah, we have to look, maybe we might, the issue is we're trying not to have a different slope over here, so I can't shift it over because our door is where this wall is. So I'd have to like, yeah, so a lot of this is taking me.
So the fireplace
you know,
lights and the extension of the fridge.
No, we're already getting very close to what the.
the exhaust
From the roof to the side.
side.
They fix the
And then just fix
south
the-
side of the front elevation.
I mean, I think what I'm hearing is, you know, I don't wanna belabor this, but I think that what's been articulated is this gable on the right side of the drawing, you're looking for a cleaner way of resolving that, landing it on the house.
Yes, I mean, I'm personally okay with the rest of the elevations, but this front one still bothers me.
Well, it looks like it fits.
Well, I think that one's bothered me as well, the one that's floating on 202 on C. It's the same condition, it's the edge of the gable is just floating there on the.
Yep, that is squared off, I mean, that is part of there's a volume there, which is.
Cause at least it's aligned.
Alright, so I think what I'm hearing is we'd like you to take another look at the front elevation, see if you can resolve it and have things fit, look like they belong.
So if you make that gable bigger though, right, when you're at a different, it's not gonna match the
Yeah,
picture,
the
not gonna
pitch
match
is
the other one, and that was one of the complaints we had on like the last.
we don't wanna
No,
do
the
that.
last one was, it was the two.
Yeah, the other one was completely different.
There were different pitches though on those, drawings.
Yes, but it was, I think it was also.
So is that not an option then, making that
No, I think, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's many ways to look at it and resolve it, and we're not doing the drawings.
we don't want you to go back, we should say, I think, I'll say at least, I don't want you to go back to something like this, this is much more awkward and, you know, far worse than breaking up the mess you're really trying to do now. You're going in a better direction, but it doesn't fit, you know, you're shoehorning it in. So I think we'd like to take another look at it, look at some other ways of giving yourself the volume and the space that you want, but having it fit on it.
Wow.
Let's see.
I mean, it also looks like you are making that window smaller.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There's really no partition here.
You guys, if we try to save time on our next iteration, I'm just, if we were to effectively,
Can you focus me?
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to make this bigger, maybe I'll go sideways so we can get more of it. If we were to look at these existing windows and slide them over, I can probably use 12 inches and try, and if you work on building out this volume, in the blue that I described.
Yeah, that looks
and
better
maybe-
already.
Well, what's off to the right of the blue?
Well, I think we
That's
can
the
use a
rest of the
different
house.
siding, there's,
But you
that
can have
is,
some kind of trim.
we would have to trim that out, I'm not asking, we're not gonna resolve that in this conversation, but
Right.
I wanna make sure that, cause I'm mindful of my client's time and money and going back with all of these,
Right.
so,
I think that looks more logical already, and it looks like this rough opening is already smaller, so shifting it over shouldn't be an issue.
yeah, so I'll look at, I think we can,
And then, are these two stay on the same plane though, even though there's just a piece of trim that goes down?
I mean, you're building 2x6 above, right?
we have the roof project out, we can look at maybe if there's a little shadow
But I
over
mean,
there.
you're over 2x4 construction here, and you're doing 2x6 above.
Correct, yeah,
You could pull that out,
we can offset that on the exterior.
yeah, and then then I'm asking to bring it down in that area so it looks like it projects a little further, but again, we're mindful of the client's budget, but there are little things like that you can do that in the scope of all the work that you're doing, I think is pretty much.
This is something we're very mindful to avoid, but I think I would like to get this resolved, so I'll look at that.
Okay, you'll be automatically on it.
Yeah.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, July 16th.
You're having a meeting July 16th, I mean, around,
But I'll need the
It's
drawing
for
by,
the-
I'll need the drawing by July 9th.
by next week, no, that's close tomorrow, Monday. I'll make a phone call tonight, I'll set up with this. All right. Thank you.
The ones that
Think
don't
we
have,
are-
the ones that don't have school.
No, I think we actually only have a meeting in August, right?
No, you said you
No,
wanted to.
we went back.
Yeah, I think we should, because I just know because when I'm an applicant and I find out boards meeting, once in the summer, it's frustrating, so.
Our boards don't meet in, I mean, besides our board,
Uh-huh.
planning and zoning don't meet at all.
Yeah, I think that's wrong, I mean, I'm saying that as an applicant, you know how painful it is when you want to get a project.
So what are we saying, that we're having
We're
one,
We already are, so that.
just one?
No.
Oh, two,
We get a bonus at the end of the year.
yeah. Like last year, that bonus? Two and
The next
Two in July.
application is 520 King Street.
I have a problem with opening the PDFs on, I've had this problem ever since the
PDF where,
emails.
but I send the
I know,
link
the link,
to the equal
I know.
360.
yeah, but sometimes
can't
I don't,
open
no, sometimes it doesn't. Again, I got the Whipple one, I couldn't get the others, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that
It happens to you?
Yeah.
And I have to open that email and surprise.
to get the link to work.
Just to get
Oh,
the
just
mail
to get
to,
the mail.
Builder and owner?
it's the only thing I open.
I think it's like
It's
the time
not-
of day sometimes that,
No,
I'll try it again the next day and it'll work.
Oh, yeah.
But it does lock out the freeze.
Yeah, it freezes, right? And then I just give up. Hi.
Are you?
Rocco, I'm the builder owner, 520.
Is this your house or you guys own?
Selling,
I'm sorry, what's your, what's,
oh, yeah, my son named it,
what is your full name?
Rocco,
Rocco what?
Ciro,
Can you spell it?
CIUR,
Which one
Oh.
is it? Sorry, is this your house? Is this house?
so that's the existing that's there, It's right across from the firehouse, I don't know if everybody passes by. So the
Across,
the
so
existing.
next to the gas station.
Yeah, so the existing there stays, and basically what we're doing is we're mimicking the other side in between, and basically, if you can see it.
Is this the house?
Yeah,
Is this the
so-
house now?
Yeah. So then
Yeah,
This is
so-
all expansion?
Yes,
they're fine.
so basically we're building the same house next to it, keeping the same roof, the same gambrella roof, and then combined in the middle with the shed, so it looks like it's been there basically. I'm trying not to make it look like a new house. Yeah, so that's, yeah, that's it. So it's like this here, this will have, you see the picture, this will have the existing trim is gonna stay. He just gonna draw it in,
No, this
and
is-
then this trim will be the same.
I'm just involved in construction.
This is new from the road.
Here we go.
Yeah, so basically this is existing, we're just changing out the windows, right? And re-siding and re-roofing. And then in between is basically your shed, right, roof, right? And then in here, we're matching this roof basically, except at a smaller scale, right? To keep it so. What's that?
I don't think I've ever seen this house.
Oh, really? Oh, you know why? Cause they have poison ivy on it. It has tons of poison ivy on it, so you couldn't see it with all the trees.
Has it been lit for a while?
No, he didn't, he used to go there like once a week, I think he was a volunteer fireman. So he didn't really, and he had like tons of furniture, it was a shame, but he just, you know, he didn't live there, he lived up in Cascos. So, but the property is nice property, and we put up trees, so we already have like trees and a nice fence there, so it kind of looks pretty nice. The outside, as far as the landscaping itself.
That's the front.
Yeah. Is this the front of the house?
Can't see. Yes,
That's the front.
and that's gonna, so that corner piece
But
there.
it angles,
Well,
there's
no, but there won't be an angle.
Oh, okay.
So basically that'll be squared off,
Mhm.
and if you look at the front
Okay.
door,
Uh-huh.
the front door is will be recessed in, that would be between the new house
Then you, okay,
and
so
the
this is going
existing
away.
house, right?
Okay.
So that looks like a porch in the front there,
Mhm.
that's actually a roof, a metal roof. And that'll be set back, that'll be set in, 3 feet. yeah,
That's going to be here, that door.
Yeah.
No, the door.
So
there's
this-
going to be a door.
yeah, this looks like a porch, it's a throwing porch.
Is it gonna be here? No, this is on the side,
Yeah,
right
it's in
side,
the
and
middle.
on the left is the building. Oh,
It's
this
one
is
plate.
right, on the left is the-
Yeah, and then in between, and then basically this is the corner you're looking at, where you said there's an angle there.
Oh,
This
so
is-
it
yeah.
says, oh.
Yeah, so this is the angle,
Yeah.
so now this piece here will be in 3 feet, right? And then
Right,
this will be your metal
I see,
roof,
yeah.
and that'll give
And
you,
that's the front door?
that'll be your front door.
Looks so narrow.
Well, it's bigger than that, it's just the way he drew the glass.
Oh.
It's gonna be 42 inches.
What's 42 inches?
The front
It just
door,
looks like
the
it's
front
very
door
narrow.
looks, because of the way he
Yeah,
drew
looks like
it.
it,
No, it's not gonna be narrow.
Well, so it's,
It's
so it's
on,
not drawn properly, or,
I mean, I suppose whatever, if it's 7
it's
feet,
all been glass.
it's a 7-foot opening. So if you look on a plan, it's a 7-foot opening, so there's plenty of space. So with 2 side lights, you have a 3.0 door, so yeah. there's
well, it's
plenty.
not drawn right, because it
Yeah.
looks like the door is the same dimension as the sidewalk.
Oh, is it? Yeah. So,
Who wants to start? Anyone? I'll start. There, in the front of it here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 3 feet.
and I guess I start with 2 comments on the fence. One is on the front, you're putting another volume next to, and you've got a recess where the door is, which is at least a breaking up into two volumes.
Yeah.
But in the back, it's just one giant flat wall for the whole facade. And it would be nice if we could break that up in some manner.
Well,
It's a brand new house, you can do anything you want.
Yeah, of course.
So that's one. The second comment I'll throw at you is on the two sides of the house is there's a completely random fenestration pattern and a lot of blank walls. And again, it's a brand new house, you can do anything you want.
What do you mean blank wall?
Well, I mean, here you've got a lot of blank space here, and on the other one,
Yeah, it was a bedroom and a bedroom.
okay, but it's a brand new house, and then you've got all this blank, and it's just a random window pattern. And it would be nice if there was some,
Well, this is a bathroom, you have to look at the floor plan also.
you designed a brand new house,
Yeah,
and you're ending up with
well, this is
designs that are
existing,
random.
this part is existing, right? So we're keeping it existing, so this is the part that's new. So if you look at the plan, here you look at the, if you look at the room layout, you'll see why the windows are all there.
So this is the second floor,
That's where the
So-
windows are, that side.
alright, so,
So you can see, so this side is the bathroom,
but
so you
this,
can't put windows there.
but you don't need to have a window, why is there a window here and?
This is the bathroom here, so if you look at the back side,
But again, it's all, everything's new, it looks like a new house.
yeah, it is.
And the result is the windows are, I think at least kind of, random.
Well, you look at the elevation, at the same time you're designing plan, not design the plan and then put the
Right.
windows where you want.
Yeah.
That work with the plan.
Yeah.
They have to work together, you think about how you want it to look on the.
Maybe I wouldn't design a bedroom. Yeah, I don't know, why need a window like this?
And you have
This
plumbing,
closet here is kind of weird.
you have plumbing on a cold wall too, so why don't you do that?
The plumbing on the cold wall will be on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we do it. We put it through the floor. We don't put it on
Why,
outside.
I'm just curious, why the window off to the side?
I don't know, that's a good point.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna fall back.
But again, as Stanley said, the elevation and plan should be designed together.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And the back of the house is this gigantic flat, massive wall with no breaks in the building. Other people have comments, please share.
Do you note the shutters?
I didn't get to the shutters.
So I'm also wondering,
They're
I'm
on
also wondering
On the
why.
front, yeah, they're haphazard, there's like two
Yeah,
on the top and on the left and.
Keep going on, I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm not
Maybe
crazy
not one
about
in each
the,
on the right.
Yeah, the same size shutter on a different window size.
Yeah.
Did the architect look at, I'm not, this angle looks like it's matching that angle, but dropping the break and the gambrel at the same point, so it's not as tall?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same.
No, I'm
size.
saying,
But it's
I'm saying
not
it looks
drawn
funny, this one is a large thing and this one's skinnier, but you've made it just as tall. Why doesn't it break at the same
It
ridge
should
line?
break at the same.
No, so this would be lower, which I think might look better. If
It's
this is,
supposed to be the.
Yeah, but it's not drawn.
it's not
Yeah,
drawn,
so-
it's completely
yeah,
not drawn that
yeah.
way. So see how you break there at the ridge?
Yeah, that's the ridge.
Break that here.
Yeah, so
And
you
then-
draw it, yeah, so you say.
So I think that's the first thing that struck me is looking
Yeah.
funny.
This little roof in here looks like this, is this flush in here? It might be
No,
nice,
it's,
might be nice if it
it's
came
a
out.
pitched roof, should be, or side profile, I think.
That's just okay.
Does it come out, does it protrude? I think it would be nicer if it came out beyond the flat.
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
I'm trying to.
Well, the step itself will come out, not the, it'll be recessed in.
Oh, there's a piece.
Wouldn't this be better if the roof had gone out and went out to the break coming up there and then.
Something to tie the two things together.
Okay.
Anybody else?
No, he drew it higher, it says match existing, because it's ridge.
Yeah, I know, so I wouldn't do that, but I think it will look better.
No, it's gonna be, because I'm framing it, it's gonna be the same size. So I don't know why he drew it higher.
So draw it down lower, I think it'll look better.
Absolutely, that's why I did the whole thing, to
Here-
match one side to the other side.
So since this roof is coming out, I would actually give it more prominence by widening it out after it comes past that face and that face.
Well, that I can do with this shot.
Well, we wanna
You
see
wanna
it,
draw it,
we wanna see it.
What's that?
once you draw it.
So the roof is actually wider at the eave line.
No, because that's not gonna look right, only because you're gonna have, if you want, because then you're gonna be into the siding over here, this is recessed in.
No, I know,
So
but
how
the
would
roof
you
is
do
coming,
it?
but the roof is coming out,
The roof will be out, yeah, the
like,
roof
it
will
looks
come
like
out, of
30
course.
inches.
Yeah, the roof, it's it's like 3 feet, yeah, something like that, yeah.
So it's almost like his tongue sticking out.
Is there a side view though?
Yeah, there is. It's just,
Does the side view show, the side view shows it?
it's sticking,
Well, I see what you're saying.
it's sticking way out, but it would be nice if it was blended into the two matches. Not just the,
Well, it's in plenty, it's in 3 feet.
It's an open into the stairs, so you can have it stone in the house.
Oh,
It's just really under.
there's the stairs.
does that stone go behind here?
It's where this stone is.
Oh,
Go all the way.
and then one is this. Yeah, what is the center? What is this? What is it?
Well, that's it, the whole elevation.
It's a side door.
Do you have columns on that,
On where?
on that?
This
on
is the new.
the side, on the Elm Street side?
This is the new.
No, we're gonna try to do a patio with we're gonna go for a porch chair on top
It's the new.
and then maybe do a bigger door there, 'cause that's a kitchen.
Is that showing columns on that elevation?
It is, looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like, and why
door's
isn't
not
the door
centered,
centered?
yeah.
And I don't understand that right. Is it a shed
No,
or
those
is
are
it-
4x4, that's just like a, yeah, it's like a little shed.
Oh, just trying.
Why isn't the door centered?
Yeah, why is it?
Because it's in the kitchen, you have to look at the floor plan in the kitchen, it's on the side, it's a side door, that's a back door, that's the back door in the hallway.
But you're
But
putting.
you're putting the shed roof over.
It's existing, there's a shed, there's
That
already
was the
an
new
existing one on one side, so
Oh, yeah,
they
that's
added
existing.
another one on
This
the
is
other
the
side.
existing.
Are you reskinning the house, or putting new siding
Yeah, it's on the side.
on the old part too?
Yeah.
So,
The old part, we're gonna strip it off.
I mean, saving the awning, but you're gonna
I'll
strip
save
off all
it,
the
we'll
sides.
fix it.
So can you fix it so it's centered over the
He
door?
said they were gonna build a patio, but see,
I mean, you're building a brand new house,
there's this.
you're gonna take some framing under the old house.
But isn't
Yeah.
this existing on this side? I don't know what this,
Yeah, it's a side, and then there's one in the back too.
I know, but so how is that existing?
No, this is new,
Yes, right.
this is the new side, this is the kitchen side towards
Yeah, that
out.
is the new side,
Yeah,
so,
sorry, I can't see.
so then why wouldn't you?
So I can do whatever I want.
You
Yeah,
can do whatever you want,
I
but
can
we
do whatever
would
I want,
like,
but I just can't have a bigger door.
we would like window
I can do
patterns.
whatever I want.
Windows, door
So
patterns.
just make it so that it was not a mistake.
It looks like a mistake.
Looks like someone just,
So we
Yeah.
like a pattern of fenestration that looks appropriate and
The
balanced.
windows, I don't know how much I can change in the windows, otherwise I gotta change, pretty much everything. I'm keeping the existing the way it is, and then I just added the new. We have 2 floors.
Well, the
This says
existing
this is
isn't exactly
new.
the way it is because you're straightening out that one
Yeah,
side.
yeah,
So
the
it's
only reason-
really not that existing because you're changing that angle and flattening it out.
Because I'm changing the angle, all I'm doing is flattening it out because the windows are on an
I
angle.
know, but it
So we're
doesn't
just
make it then
trying to
exist,
make
it's,
it
the existing
the
isn't
same.
exactly the way it is existing is what I'm saying, so.
Technically, yes, yeah.
And again, the back elevation, this massive, gigantic, more than twice as big, completely flat elevation.
I mean, that's fine, I can keep the house the way it is and fix the other side of it, that's fine, but that's actually fine with me. I'm not sure I wanna go through all the, I tried to match it next to the other houses just because.
right, it just.
And I can keep it took me a long time to get the plan as it is, but
In
I'm not gonna change the windows
In
in
the
the back.
front, at least, you're recessing.
Yeah, some stuff I can
This is
change.
recess.
Yes, it is.
Everything here is new, you can change it, you
No,
do
that's
it.
not.
No, everything's
this is
the other
all-
side.
No,
Everything's
it's
this
this
side.
side.
All I
Okay,
did was try to add this piece here to match this piece,
but you're
and then
recessing.
the back, I'm not gonna
This is
change all
setback,
the
right?
windows, what's that?
This is
Yes,
setback.
but I don't wanna change all the windows.
So
You
here,
keep saying it's a new house,
this
it
is new, this is the
What's that?
existing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's existing.
Does everything have to be completely flat all the way across?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do, bump it out? I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm trying not to build a big tacky house, otherwise we're gonna knock the whole house down and build a whole new house. But I didn't wanna do it because the firehouse is too big next to it. So I did something that would be in the neighborhood. I was trying to do the neighborhood. This is not my design for like a house that I would live in or I build, but this is a house that we try to do, the best we can, whatever. There are some things that I don't like the shutters, he drew the shutters, and I'm not big on the shutters. So, but I didn't know if that was crazy, but as far as that being the way it is, that's a high house too. That's a big, if you look at the pictures, it's a big high house. The only thing I'm changing with the existing is, and actually I wasn't gonna do this roof, I was gonna do this roof all the way across, like a gable all the way across, but it didn't look right. So I ended up doing it this way, so it would match a little bit better in the neighborhood, so it wasn't like we didn't give it
I
any
think
thought.
that was a good.
No, but I didn't think we didn't give it any thought, cause I could've just did a gable, it would've been cheaper for me, and just do it that way and bang that out and it's done. So the windows, we kinda did it with the rooms, like to your point, like.
But
No,
my
I'm saying
point
is
is
we
that's
made,
not-
what I'm saying is, we made one big family room downstairs on the other side has bedrooms, and then upstairs is a bedroom and a bathroom, so you really can't get that much
But what I'm saying is,
more, so
you
then
drew the
from there.
plan, you drew the plan first, you said, I like the plan.
Yeah.
Now draw the elevations and pop windows in.
No, it's not like that. I've been in
It is, that's
I've
what
been
it
in
looks like.
business for 40 years.
That's what it
I've
looks
built a lot
like.
of houses. It's not like my first house.
That's what it looks like.
No, that's not what we did.
Well, there's no rhyme or
I
reason.
built a house in Chappaqua in 1989. I've been around a long time, so
On the-
I didn't do it that way.
On the new facade.
I don't work like that. I actually tried to make it look like it was old. We tried to, like this I don't like.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, this
this
I
way
don't
you
like.
can-
There's
you
some
can-
things
you
that
can
we didn't
correct
like.
this.
But even the window pattern.
But I didn't, well, I don't know,
Just like-
what
Maybe just
but you have to look at the bedroom. It's
Well,
some
okay,
of the
but
existing
then,
bedrooms.
then that's what we're saying, is
Yeah.
that it looks, the outside looks like you did a floor plan and then you put windows in.
I think that's, no, I don't agree with that, that I disagree. We didn't do it that way at all. You might not agree with the way it looks in the back, I'll agree with that, that's fine, I can take that, but we didn't just throw it up
Alright,
and
but it looked.
do it that way, no.
Alright, so what are our
I didn't
recommendations?
really do that.
Well, to change this elevation, to straighten the door.
And then,
The roof, fix the roof on the plan.
properly,
And-
because I think that's
And
siding.
also maybe, just make
That's
it
a
more
shed dormer?
symmetrical.
Right, right,
That's
but it
an
looks like it's got
existing-
shingles on it.
No, it's not
That's
existing,
it.
this is the new sign.
No, that's the existing
No,
side.
this is the existing, the shed dormer is not on the new.
It says existing, but
Yeah.
he said it was new.
He just said it was new,
I
the
said-
side, yes.
No, that's the existing side. That's the existing side. Cause you have this one odd dormer here.
Yeah, that's the one that looks like it needs some siding on it, not drawn like it has shingles next to
But
the
the
window.
existing side has this.
You're looking at that side, so I'm not sure what
That
you're
is,
seeing.
it does have shingles on it.
It's
Oh,
Travis
that's
has it.
what it is.
Oh, okay.
that's the so that side is the existing when we were talking about it before.
Okay.
So that's there, so that's this, you have
But
the picture of
windows
the
are
porches?
different.
No, you moved a window, you're moving.
Yeah, you are moving.
That's
You're moving, you're moving this
You're
window.
moving that window, this one.
Whoa, yes. So look, this is the,
So
this
you're
is
making some
this.
choices, you're
Yeah.
making
This
some
is
choices.
this is this. So that's why it looks like that.
No, I think they're saying that this one was on here, it's underneath this one.
Yeah, so he shows it here.
Yeah.
We're moving it over, yeah.
Right.
But
Works
this
on
here,
the inside,
this-
you move it over, but on the outside.
This is existing, so he tried to draw the existing, so that's existing.
So we would like you to clean it up.
What, you want me to do it?
Move that window back to where it was, right? That's what you said. This window's in the wrong place on the drawing. Right? Does that mean?
No, you said, I said,
Look, see where that
no,
window
I
is?
understand, I understand what you said.
So which are you keeping? You're making a new window?
This is something. Yeah, so this window's here, right?
Not
And
on the
then-
drawing.
Yeah.
No, I know.
So
We
you've
moved it
chosen,
over.
So-
But you
So
did
can
it
you choose to-
especially, that's what you wanted,
Yeah.
that's.
So I
So
think
draw
we're
this
asking
for,
you is to
because it's a
move it.
bedroom. That's
Draw
why.
what you want, or else we're just wasting our time looking at drawings that aren't accurate.
But we'd like you to clean this up and not just say, well, this is the way it is, it's all set, so we're gonna live with it, but I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna spend the effort to move this. Because you end up with an elevation, it doesn't look great. And that's a big investment for the community, it's gonna be in the community for a long time.
Oh, that's gonna make it really nice.
And then you have to fix the roof in the front.
So
No,
this
you're
roof,
not that.
what's that?
On the drawing. This side.
So the smaller gambrel roof, you're gonna
has
lower
to
the
end
peak.
at the-
Yeah.
but it needs to be reflected.
Yep.
Alright, so we're meeting again in 2 weeks, you'll be automatically on the agenda.
The meeting is July 16th, so I would need the revised plans by July 9th.
Yeah, I probably not gonna make it.
You can come to the meeting after that.
What's that?
And the meeting after that is August 6th.
And if I keep the existing and I don't do it, what do I have to change on the existing?
If you don't change what?
If I don't build this and I just keep the existing, what do you wanna change on
You
the
keep the
existing?
existing house and you
Yeah,
make it.
You don't even have to.
Then, well, if
He's-
it does,
he's
then-
just- If
you're-
he's not making any
If you're gonna keep
changes,
the old house
Yeah.
and you're not gonna make any changes on any
Well,
locations,
I would change a couple of things.
and
Oh.
then come back to us and show us
so
what it
then
looks
you
like.
still have,
But it's a pretty small house. I
What's
mean,
that?
if you wanna make a profit, it's a pretty
Oh,
small house, so
Yeah,
to keep it, what?
I'll make a profit.
It's only 1,500 square feet.
We don't have a problem,
Right.
we don't have a problem with you making a bigger house.
I've seen some pretty crazy looking houses, and so I was trying to do the opposite of that, but I guess not. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Alright, thank you.
You're gonna give them that, it's seven. So it's rotting, should have a phone, alright.
And it's on.
Should we take pictures of the house?
Down that way.
What?
I was looking at her phone. Pictures of the house.
Okay, so the next application is the Whipple Club.
Stubborn.
It's a building, you should listen to it.
Over here?
Yes.
Okay, hello everybody.
Hi.
So there's a lot of plans here.
Okay.
I don't know which ones to get.
This, all this
Well,
pretty
you know
cool.
what, we'll, everything we're gonna show is pretty
You're
much
on
on the
Zoom?
screen.
Oh,
Zoom, if
good.
that's
Oh,
okay.
better. That's
Yeah.
great.
And if there's any questions, we can pull.
Okay.
So,
You gonna project on that big screen?
Yes.
yeah. So by way of introduction, my name is Jim Ryan. I'm a board member, or a board of governors and a member of the club. I'm here with Brian Schmidt, who's the club general manager. Anthony Nestor here is one of the principals at JMC. They're the engineering and planning firm that's been working with the club on what we're doing. So I'll just give you a quick overview of what we're doing here. So this kind of started in some work on the existing pool in 23. We had an incident in 23 which kind of raised some eyebrows with the health department. They came in and took a look at the pool in its entirety. At the same time, we were starting to look at it with a consultant. Aquatectonics was hired as an architect pool consultant for us to look at the pool. Health department came in and noticed that there was a number of issues related to things like drainage, pavement surfaces, the way that it was demarcate the depths of the pool. There was a lot of things that were going on. The deeper that they got into it, we realized this pool is 60 years old. And the pool did not really comply with current standards, health department standards. So we started a project basically working with the health department to keep the pool open for 2 years, basically, while we were working with the health department on new plans to essentially do a new pool. And so what we'll show you tonight is really what's happening here. The only physical structure we have on the property is really our equipment shed. There's an existing equipment shed on the property too, and so it has to replace that because in redoing the pool, everything had to be re-looked at too, and how we do everything from the chlorination to the water turnover and so on. The major change on the pool itself, and you'll see in the shape, is that we had 2 pools there. We had a wading pool or a kiddie pool, which is the top portion of the pool right there too. It's a separate pool, had separate fences on it too. And as we were working with our consultant and the health department, again, the health department has been hand in hand since 23 on this pool. Health department was encouraging us to look at a zero entry portion of the pool. It's a direction the health department prefers for safety, also allows for better handicap accessibility for this pool too. The wading pool, even though it was done under permits from the town in 2015, wasn't that old. But functionally, it was problematic for the club anyways. It got very little use. It took time for staffing that with additional lifeguards and so on too. So with an agreement with the health department, we've put together the pool plan addressing all of the health and safety issues throughout the entire pool. Access, the way that it's built, the depths and so on of the pool are now designed. So we've been working with them for about really consistently, almost 18 months, specifically on the new pool. It goes back to 23 for our first engagement with the health department. So this is moving forward. We had a referral to your board. We went to the planning board yesterday. They looked at all of the site-related issues, the landscaping and everything else on this too. And they sent a positive referral to the zoning board of appeals, which is the approval agency under an amended special permit for this too. So there are no other structures on there. There's no changes to the clubhouse or so on too. So the only structure we have, and again, most of the design in terms of the massing and so on was driven by the health department and the requirements for not only spacing, but ceiling heights and so on. And the layout too. It's a completely new building, a ground up building. We have positioned it in the same location that it is in now. It's actually slightly smaller because the mechanical equipment got, I think, better, more efficient, and just the general. We were using a chlorination system that was a tank chlorination system. Now we have a pellet system that's better for the people that are going to be handling that and doing the regular maintenance on that too. In terms of the building, this was the existing building. It's showing the wear of a 60-year-old. It's actually a positive we had no intention of using that. All the piping and everything else is changing into it too. So again, working with Aquatectonics and the health department, we have a new building. What I'd like to just point out in terms of the roof slope, the back side of it, Anthony, if you can point out, that's the uphill side of it. So essentially there's a retaining wall that comes down below grade to the flat portion of the grade here too. So the reasoning for the roof line like it is, not only the height that the health department required on that too, is so that the height of the back of that building is over 6 feet, which is something the health department had mandated for that too. We also now have something that didn't exist on the existing. We have a gutter system too, because under current conditions, basically, again, 60 years old, all of our drainage was basically going on to Whippoorwill Road. So we now have a drainage system that we worked on with your town engineer. That's gonna carry all that to a detention basin and the surge tank, which will be on the Whippoorwill property here. So the access points and so on too have all been looked at. Health department's really in the final stages of their review and approval of this. In terms of the color of this, the intention is, Matthew will show you, just to match the color of the building, the main pool house building.
Yeah,
So, you know, there is some landscaping along that corridor, but essentially it's that gray, with the type of trim that we have on there too. So, it's a far better look than seriously, you know, the other buildings falling apart anyway. So, again, we're in the last phase of the health department, but we'd look for any thoughts that you have on this too, and a recommendation to go back. We expect to be back to the zoning board of appeals this month for that too. The goal is in the health department, the last thing I'll say is the health department, basically, we will have no pool after the end of the season. So that was the agreement with the health department, that we addressed enough of the health and safety issues. We filed the normal health and safety plans with the health department every year. But they have been working with us hand in hand because they knew at the end of the season, that's it for the existing pool. We have a contractor already selected, Chaikin Contracting. We went through a bid process and they'll be ready to start as soon as the pool, hopefully as soon as the pool closes at the end of this season. So that's it in a nutshell. We're happy to answer the questions. If there are operational questions, Brian can answer those questions.
Just one, I mean, I think it looks fine. Just what is the roof surface, since you'll be seeing a lot of that?
I believe it is shingle is what
Okay.
called out for on the plans.
That's the main-
Asphalt
The main
Asphalt
club,
shingles.
the main
Okay.
clubhouse is probably the same.
It is.
Same,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with it.
What does the fourth side look like?
Which side?
The
Fourth-
pool
fourth
side.
The pool side, it would be this left side here,
So
in the upper back.
there is landscaping in front of it, Brian, if you
Yeah.
go back
Let's
to
see if
that
I'm gonna go
picture.
back to,
You're not really gonna
It's
see
pretty
this.
yeah, so
landscape.
you can see it like this lower left-hand corner
Yeah,
of the
but go to
right.
the landscape plan that shows what we're doing.
You have an elevation?
Yeah, it's-
It's fine.
So that it's gonna be heavily landscaped.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, the goal and the height is because of the health department requirement for 6 feet. And the fencing, the other, I think, positive out of this too is that the entire fence is coming in on this property. So that, you know, we have, the fence right now is along Whippoorwill Road and it's falling apart. It's a chain link fence. It still complies with health department requirements, but we're tightening up the fence to the interior too. It's more manageable for lifeguards and life safety. So all that ugly chain link fence that's out on Whippoorwill Road will disappear too, which I think is a net positive for the property, so.
It's good.
Looks good.
Okay, so, good luck. All right, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Have a good night, guys. Nice seeing everyone.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, yes. We'll be back tomorrow, Daisy and I.